guys about global warming, how it might not be humans just affecting global warming. Alright, so to start off, does anybody know what global warming is? The definition? No? Nope. Alright. Global warming is defined as the increase in the average temperature of Earth's atmosphere. I'm just going to start off with a quote right here. According to CERN, a European organization for nuclear research, despite all the real concerns on global warming, it's not escalating at the rate everyone says. So do humans really contribute to global warming? And it is more a natural climatic change the Earth does, like the Ice Age, Pandora, how it went through that. And it's more Earth's natural ebb and flow, not something to panic over. Just got a little picture here. The Ice Age is ending. It says it must be our fault. So I have another quote from David Rose, who has a PhD in electrical engineering and writes articles on this debate for journals and newspapers. It says, it usually doesn't last that long, but there are periods where it can last years, which we may be facing at the moment. And there's a cycle that the sun goes through. It has 11 years of strong radiation and then 11 years of weak radiation. So it affects all the planets, not just Earth itself. So it changes on temperature, and the sun is not always steady every day, so that's why some days it's warmer, some days it's colder. And also El Nino and La Nina, which El Nino is the warm temperatures in the ocean. La Nina is the cold temperatures in the ocean, which can make it warmer and colder any day. Alright, so you may be thinking that humans are the main cause of global warming because of the cars and the planes and emissions we are emitting into the atmosphere. But are humans the real cause? There's volcanoes, wildfires, even the plants and trees that give off the respiration cycles. They all give off CO2. I have another quote from Joe Martino, who is an author and co-founder of Collective Evolution. So carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere by a variety of natural sources, and over 95% of total CO2 emissions would occur even if humans were not present on Earth. So it's just a little fact for you guys. So humans, like I said, would only equal the 5%, like Joe Martino said, and 95% would be the Earth of all the CO2 emissions in the air, in the atmosphere. So where is everyone's tax money going? Because everyone's paying taxes on this. Are the scientists lying? They could just be increasing their checks and collecting billions of dollars from the government, and the government collects billions of dollars from us. That's how they fund their researches. And honestly, nothing has changed, and it might not be so serious to the level everyone's bringing it to. I haven't really seen any environmental changes or any safety restrictions on new cars. Some car companies are making electric cars, but really no one's buying them. So everyone likes the gas cars better, obviously. I got another picture here of just the climate science. And you see him, he's just lighting his lighter like on the end of the thermometer. Alright, so in Britain, they've invested billions of dollars into cutting greenhouse emissions, but it's really only adding hundreds of dollars to households' electric bills, and citizens are paying taxes for this for no reason, and they're not seeing any change, kind of like what's happening here today. I have another quote from the Lorinov report, and it says, evidence from over 30,000 temperature reading stations show no rise in temperature for the past 15 years. But scientists are saying that the atmosphere is getting hotter by the day. Like I said, Britain tried cutting their emissions, but it's still no one's seeing any changes. It's just like what's happening over here. Everyone's paying tax money and not seeing any changes really. Nothing new is being invented. So where's the tax money going? So in the past 12,000 years, we've been in a warming period. It is not from humans because we were not around 12,000 years ago. And there were no cars, and gas wasn't being used like today has. But in the past 15 years, temperatures on average only increased about 1/2 of a degree, if that. So it's really the scientists kind of creating a scare for people to raise taxes, raise higher prices on electric, and gasoline prices, of course. Alright, so from the 1940s until the 1970s, temperatures kept falling. Scientists were saying that we were going to have an ice age, or the trend was leading to an ice age. But today in 2014, scientists are saying that the trends are leading to a global warming. So really, what is a global warming? So during the Jurassic Age, the CO2 levels were nearly 7,000 ppm, which stands for parts per million, of carbons in the atmosphere. Today we're nearly at 400 parts per million, and there's even been times where we're as low as 270. So how were the dinosaurs producing all this carbon? They weren't driving around cars and flying fancy jets like we are today. And it just shows that Earth can really survive various changes. Because you see the parts per million was at 7,000, today it's at 400, so it's pretty much like 5 times greater. So you can see that the Earth can really take a bunch of changes. Alright, so we know of the Earth being 4.5 billion years old. So it has survived many changes and natural disasters. It was meant to be that way. Humans are not the only factor to global warming and are only probably a small part of it. The biggest cause of global warming is definitely the natural occurrences like the volcanoes, wildfires, plants, and all other natural disasters, which cause millions of carbon atmospheres to get into our atmosphere and they get trapped. Billions of dollars are being wasted, all of our tax money, all of the government's money, which they're getting from us. They're funding for these researches. There's nothing new to prevent carbon drops, and there's no drop in carbon levels, or at least we haven't seen any. Even if humans were not on this Earth right now, carbon levels would still be in our atmosphere because of the natural occurrences that the Earth goes through, and at the real rates the temperatures are rising, humanity and Earth will be fine. That's it.